Ooh, why do I feel so like my inhaler's like in my body right
I
now?
feel kind of jacked up too.
Yeah, do you feel, but like my mind is slow.
I'm like literally drinking Red Bull
I was gonna
right
say
now.
I'm gonna take one sip.
Do it.
One sip is all it takes. Falling in love with me.
So Red Bull, we're starting the podcast. So Red Bull, how it makes you sad?
I can't tell what it is because I like Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
When I've done like a Red Bull vodka or whatever,
Yeah.
I always end up crying
Yeah,
without fail. That's when I cry. It's like the equivalent to like whiskey for a lot of people where
Yeah.
they're like upset or whatever.
Well, whiskey makes me want to fight.
Yeah,
Every-
you're right.
Every time I've ever been like, I'm going to kick that guy's ass, or even more so, anytime somebody has kind of given me a look, and usually I'm pretty good at being like, okay, like that's fine. But if I have had shots of whiskey, which it's funny, I'm always with kind of the same people whenever I do that.
Because there's whiskey people and they're always
Yes.
like, let's do it.
Like our friend Steven is a huge whiskey guy.
He loves whiskey.
But here's the thing about Steven. I've never been like, oh yeah, we're going to get in a fight with someone tonight when I'm with Steven. He's not a fighter. He's a lover, not a fighter.
He is a lover.
It's the perfect way to put it. Steven, even though he could be a good fighter, he's tall as hell and he's got long arms. He's got a good reach.
Yeah.
But it's not his passion.
No,
You know?
No. He's a gentle giant.
But we'll go out and he'll be like, you have to try this old fashioned and that one. And if I was with anybody but Steven, I think I'd be like, I think that guy's giving us a look.
Yeah.
And I never do that unless it's whiskey, but that's Red Bull for you.
Yeah, for some reason. And I thought like, okay, maybe it's just like the mixed drink, but like every now and then I'll have a Red Bull. Like I had one the other day because Red Bull, they sent us a bunch of stuff, which I was like,
I was going to say right now I'm basically saying Red Bull, you don't agree with Red Bull.
but I do is the thing. Like I like, because there's been instances in my life where I'm like, because I'm not a huge energy drink person, but like when I am like, I need an energy drink, I'll grab a Red Bull. I'm like, you're more of a Red Bull person. But so they sent us all this stuff and I was like, awesome. They sent us this like new flavor that was like delicious. It tasted like a Skittle.
Yeah.
I think the thing was I drank it too fast because I'm too sensitive.
Yeah.
And I just like immediately was like, I don't know why I'm like really emotional right now. Like I think it's how fast I drink it more than anything. Because also if I'm drinking like a cocktail or whatever, I'm such a like anxious sipper. Like I can't, that's why I get so hammered when we like go to a wedding or go out or whatever, versus if we're just at dinner, is because when I'm talking to other people, I can't stop taking a sip. It's such a crutch for me. Like socially. And so I think it's just whenever I'm out, I have it way too fast.
I have the same problem, but mine's, I prefer when we go out, I'm like, I'm just going to have, there's nothing better to me than being beer drunk.
Yeah.
And I know like most people don't agree with me with that.
I just don't like beer, but I get what you mean.
But like when you have 12 beers, which you can, like this thing, you can't have, if you have 12 shots, you die.
Yeah.
If you have 12 beers, it takes a while to drink them. There's a lot of, I like to think of beer as hydrating. If I'm dehydrated, I might have a bunch of beers. You're constantly having to pee, but it's for some reason when you're pissing out beer, it feels good. I don't know why.
No, I get that.
And you're like, wow, my pee is really clear. Time to have another Coors. Or as they say in Texas, Coors. The Coors is 2 syllables in Texas.
Coors.
I went to school there, so you get the Coors Light. And it's like, you're doing more work than you have to there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not a beer girl. Like I will every now and then if like everyone's having a beer and like we're at say like the beach or a lake or whatever, we're by a body of water, maybe I'll have a beer. But that's kind of it. The rest of I get bloated. I have to pee so much.
That's the best. You're describing the benefits.
But I don't get drunk as fast. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, but
But here's the thing is when I'm by a body of water, which is the only time it sounds okay, I'm in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get a big old belly.
Yeah, and then you just pee it right out into the lake. It's perfect. You're surrounded by a bathroom.
Gross.
But my problem is gross. Okay. I've said this before, but as a former pool cleaner, although
a pool is not a lake. There's no chlorine in the lake.
But a lake is massive.
Yeah, but
You could throw
the pool. I get the pool.
You could throw pure cyanide, a gallon of it, into a lake, and nothing. Maybe there's a fish who's really unlucky and has to be right nearby. That'll die. Other than that, dissipates, gone. Whatever. It's fine. And again, I'll say this as a former pool cleaner, even though, I like to think of us pool cleaners as sort of like the Marines. Like, yeah, you retired from the Marine. You're still a Marine. You're not. There's no such thing as a retired Marine.
Yeah.
It's like the saying too. Nobody used to have a bad back. If you have a bad back, this is the truest saying too. As a aging man, I can tell you, if you have a bad back, you always have a bad back. And it was like, yeah, and then it fixed. No, you just learned how to manage it. But you can totally pee in pools. Do not worry about peeing in pools. You could throw up in a pool. You'd be fine. Like the pool's fine. It's really fine. Like throw up, obviously it's more visible. You're going to probably want to get out and clean it or whatever.
I don't want to think about puke.
Okay, forget the pee. You could pee all over. You could fill a pool half up with pee. And after 30 minutes, it's fine. It's water and it's pure. That's how powerful the chemicals are.
So you're willing to say right now,
Yeah.
pee in pools?
Pee in pools.
Okay.
There's no reason not to.
Jack the Pool Boy is pro peeing in pools. Right here on the Public Pool Podcast.
It's not disgusting, but it is convenient.
Yes.
That's my argument for it.
Yeah.
You're fine. Every time it's like, are you going to pee in the pool? It's like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
I just don't want anyone to know I'm peeing in the pool.
That's true.
Did you ever believe those people who are like, oh, we have those like red, were those real, the like red dye things right? That's not actually a real thing. I've never seen it in real life.
It's impossible.
Right?
Yeah. I'm sure it's not impossible, but it'd be really, that's crazy. Yeah,
I feel like that's just a tactic by moms to be like, don't pee in the pool.
Well, also think about it. It's like, you know how they say like your phone is dirtier than like the toilet seat or whatever? Yeah. We're covered in pee probably all the time.
Yeah.
Like there's pee droplets everywhere. Otherwise, everybody getting into a pool, it's going to be red like somewhere.
Yeah. Right?
You know?
Yeah. Cause I remember when I was like in third grade, like the last day of school or whatever, my third grade teacher she lived like right next to the school.
Yeah.
And she was like, I have like an end of the year pool party. The whole class after school walks to her house and we have a pool party.
Yeah.
And I remember her saying like, no peeing in the pool. I do have those red dye things. So if anyone pees in the pool, we'll know who it is. And I just remember being like, what if I accidentally pee in the pool? Like I was so stressed out.
Yeah. But it's not true.
It's not true. Wasn't that in like Grown Ups or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did,
Believe it or not, Grown Ups isn't exactly accurate.
How dare you? Listen, I just love how in all of Adam Sandler's movies, he got rid of the, hey, I'm a struggling person in any sense. And now his movies are basically, he always plays the richest guy with the hottest wife and the coolest job who also plays pickup basketball all the time.
Hey, write what you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Why is he going to step into another character? It doesn't make any sense. To wrap up really quick, the Red Bull thing.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I was just going to say, even though, because they did send us to this, it's not a sponsorship, but they sent us a bunch of Red Bull, which is great.
They just hooked us up.
Red Bull is like my favorite taste. It tastes to me the way gasoline smells, where it's like, I feel like I shouldn't like this.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, I would prefer to only drink Red Bull all the time. It's just it's too much energy.
Yeah.
You know, but I would drink it before bed.
I feel like the Energizer Bunny.
They should start doing decaf Red Bull.
Yeah, I would totally do that.
I would drink it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, I'm just going to intro it real quick. Welcome back to the Public Pool Podcast. I'm Michaela Pascal, and here's my sweet boy, Jack O'Shea. But bringing it back to Adam Sandler, because he's one of my first notes today. Do you see that they're making a sequel to Happy Gilmore?
No way, really?
And do you know who they casted?
As who? You have to give me
I don't know as who. I think maybe just an addition to
an
the
additional
cast.
golfer. Can you give me any sort of hint?
Here's a McDonald's collaboration.
Bad Bunny?
Yes. See,
I just Gonna get you. I don't know anything about Bad Bunny. To anybody who knows me, zero surprise. I could not name one of his songs. I'm sure I'd recognize them.
I actually don't know if you would.
I don't listen to Bad Bunny.
I don't know if that would ever. I love Bad Bunny.
I know him from the McDonald's commercial, and I just love how he says his name, Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
He says Bunny different, which is fun.
Bunny. He dated Kendall Jenner on and off. It's
sure.
Good. She bounces between him and what's his face? Devin Booker.
Yeah.
I never feel like that's his name.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like his name.
Yeah. His last name Booker. I feel like Booker. Is there another Booker in the sports world? Cory Booker?
There's Cory Booker's a politician, but there's a million Bookers.
No. Okay, wait, no, I'm thinking someone else. Yeah, I'm so bad with names. You're so good at names. You're always like, well, this actor's in it, and I'm like, who?
I'm good with names like that, but I think it's everybody's good at the things that they're passionate about. You know,
but all I do is like watch TV movies and like.
Well, the TV and stuff you watch, like reality shows, there are literally too many characters.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of TV and I don't remember the names I don't ever remember the names of characters. Like while I'm watching the TV show, I'm like the girl with the brown hair. Like that's how
I'm with you too. I do that too.
I have a really hard time.
It takes me like to be really into something for me to really get the character's name and stuff. We just started a new show.
Yeah, we did. The Perfect Couple.
Which I love because it's like it feels weird saying we started a new show because we've seen this show 50 times. It's literally, it's The Perfect Couple. It's on Netflix.
And I'll watch it every time.
It's basically the 400th ripoff of the first season of Big Little Lies. That started it all. And you know what? We're here for it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Nicole Kidman is just so good
I love
at being Nicole Kidman.
Oh my God, you hate her so much. She's Satan.
Oh my God, she's good. And also, I don't think Reese Witherspoon did this one, but anything her company Hella Sunshine touches, I'm gonna watch.
Her tentacles have touched it or influenced it in some way. This is the Reese.
The Reese sphere.
The Reese-verse.
Yeah.
She's quietly the new Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think she sold a portion of her Hella Sunshine company for $1 billion.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
No, and all she does is read the books that you buy in the airport when you're going to a beach vacation. And by you, I mean if you are a middle-aged mother who's taking your kids to the beach and you're like, go have fun. And you read this book and they just make them into miniseries and they always are, rich white people who turn out to not be great and someone's murdered. And who did it?
She did exactly what she's supposed to do with someone who's like, I'm in Hollywood, everyone likes me and I have money.
Yeah.
Where it's all the people who read books, read a book and then go, this should be a show or this should be a movie. This was good. Like everything is I've never really read like a book like that and not been like, well, that was good, even if it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And so you also know if you watch a show like that, even if it's not that good, it was good.
And we've watched a lot of those shows where it's like, and then it just sort of ends.
Yeah.
What was the Hugh Grant one?
Was that the Unraveling or something?
Yeah, maybe The Undoing.
Undoing.
So I'm not going to spoil it, but the first 3 episodes are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then the 4th, 5th, 6th episode, it's like, yeah, the thing you thought in the beginning, that's what happened. And the rest of the show is basically just, it's what happened. You didn't hide it at all. You want to be tricked.
Yes. I also love, for all those shows, the towns that they pick to base them in.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all they're all luxurious, like rich areas.
Yeah, but like small home rich areas.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this house was built in 1621.
Yeah, because the Perfect Couple's what, Nantucket or something? And then, what was the Jennifer Gardner one where it took place on like the little boat thing?
That was like NorCal in like a city on the bay type thing.
Something like that. And then the Big Little Lies is somewhere in Northern California where it's just gorgeous. Isn't it Big Sur?
I always thought, I didn't watch Big Little Lies for the longest time because my line was always, I don't like shows based in Hawaii. And my brother Henry, who loved it, was like, it's not in Hawaii. And I would just never remember that. I was like, well, I don't want to watch it. I don't know why. The show's based in Hawaii. And you're part Hawaiian. Like I like Hawaii, but it's just not real,
I agree. Yeah, it doesn't feel real.
Like White Lotus gets it because it's like, yeah, it's about vacation.
Even when I'm like, oh yeah, like my grandma was born in Hawaii, and like I have like a bunch of family there. I'm like, they're just staying there for like it's too beautiful to live there. You feel like
it's like living in Disney World.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
it's really expensive. Not.
Yeah,
yeah. It's also the crime is crazy.
But yeah, no, it's just crazy. But yeah, I just love all those shows. I love watching rich white moms be rich white moms.
It's the best.
God,
the amount of wine drinking in these shows.
Oh my God, I feel like I need to have a glass like this while I'm watching it. Like my God,
and they're just constantly bitching and gossiping.
Yes,
and you just kind of get to watch WASPs. Do you know what WASP stands for?
I used to. Shit. And I've looked it up like 6 million times. Every time I forget.
Yeah. It's a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Yes. That's what it is.
Isn't it funny?
Anglo-Saxon's the one I always forget. Yeah. That's such a hard word for my brain.
It just means German English.
Yeah.
People from the Germany-England connection. Which is funny because then I guess white is sort of redundant in that if you're Anglo-Saxon, you're probably white.
It's like chai tea, how it's like chai means tea. It's like, no, it's just a fucking flavor.
Yeah,
come on, guys.
It's the Chinese taste.
I get it.
They like a little bit of spice in it. It's good. But isn't it funny now in today's day and age of like, okay, WASPs, they still are, but used to be the elites. Isn't it funny thinking of like, yeah, there was a time where Catholics were persecuted in the U.S. Like all these, like it's so funny thinking about. Not funny. I think it's funny. Fuck it, I do.
Where you think suffering is funny?
I do. There's a lot of things where I'm like, this is kind of. This is funny. But like there was a time where it was like, damn, another Polish guy moved into the neighborhood. That's in today's day and age,
Imagine.
a hilarious thought.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so clear cut now. It's so visually like that person looks like this. That's where all the racism comes from.
I think we've all just been watered down a ton
Yeah.
over the past, couple generations where it's like no one's really like 100% anything anymore.
No.
And so you can't really tell like, yeah, that guy's Polish anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and it's so funny because my favorite, I don't think we added this to the DNA sketch. That sketch did well, where it was basically like the bit is every guy who's Irish likes to think of themselves as like 100% Irish. You really own that name. It doesn't really exist. I guess Italian's probably the other white ethnicity where people would be like, yeah, but like the English aren't like, I'm a Johnson, like it doesn't have that zing to it. But just my favorite Irish thing is Irish guys going, well, the Irish used to be slaves.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just going to say right now, that's not the point of any of these movements. It's like just throwing that out there is so freaking stupid. But it is funny how it's like, no, the Irish were subhuman to the English. And it's like, we can't even tell you guys apart, but they can. Okay, so yesterday, but we were talking about the biggest rebrands, at least in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Because I was telling a story. Oh, it was about New York City in 2010, the winter of 2010, where it was a crazy snow. And this was after Al Gore's An Inconvenient Truth documentary came out. And so global warming was all the rage.
Yeah, that was the hot goss.
And all of a sudden it got really cold one winter. And the line was like, global warming, huh? See, I told you it's fake. Al Gore's an idiot. Even though, whatever. At that time, for some reason or somehow, they completely, you do not hear the term global warming anymore. It's climate change now. They completely rebranded it.
Yeah.
So that it's change, which means it can go in either direction, up or down, cold or hot.
Yes.
It's just different. And I think that was the craziest rebrand in my head, in my lifetime.
Yeah. And I think the most recent giant rebrand we had was we went from calling it coronavirus to COVID.
Yeah.
Like last time I said coronavirus, it like accidentally like came out and I kind of was like, that was weird. Like, I don't even know what the switch was. Just all of a sudden we were like coronavirus. Like
it did feel like there was a memo sent to the news agencies.
Yeah. They're like,
where
it's
they're
COVID.
Say COVID. Do not say corona. And there's part of me that's like, was it Corona beer?
I know where they.
But there's no way. Like that's too much influence to be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they would even, because I feel like they even poked fun at it on social media at first.
Right?
Because
there's the only reason why I don't think that they would have is because
not
I
like
think
poking fun at it, but they
were
were
real sensitive about it.
But I think they were like, hey, like this has nothing to do with us, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I just remember. I'm trying to think of like other things that have rebranded where it's like, remember we used to call this.
Can I really quickly go back to An Inconvenient Truth? Just
Sure.
Did you ever have to watch it in school?
I didn't.
It came out in 2006. So the next year in my high school biology class, it was like, fuck yeah, we get to watch a movie. We're watching An Inconvenient Truth. If you've never seen it, it's the scariest documentary of all time.
Yeah.
In it, the claims that they make, like there's a reason why all of a sudden it was like global warming is the only thing people are talking about. People started like yelling at their cars. They were so upset. And some of the claims, the problem is like none of them came true.
Yeah.
They said, I remember it was 2006. And he said, I think by 2011 or 2013, he was like, New York City will be underwater.
Yes, I remember that one. I was terrified.
And I remember being like, I got to call, I'm from New York originally. So I got to call, and all my family lives there. I got to call my grandma.
You're like, I need to get grandma out of New York.
They got to move now. Like I'm imagining the ocean's like literally just like kind of slowly seeping in. No, completely fine. And now they're saying like, yeah, it'll take about 1,500 years before that could possibly happen. Same thing with Florida. It's like everybody, it's just, there was another claim too, where it was like, and I believe in climate change.
Side
to an
tangent,
extent.
I think what climate change, big climate change and activists and all those things need to start doing is they need to stop being like, hey, here's all the scary stuff that's happening. Because yes, all the scary stuff is happening. But anytime that they like have a feat, because they do have a ton of feats where they're like, hey, we actually changed this law and now
Yeah.
only these emissions are allowed. And this actually like did X, Y, and Z, and this was great. They need to be sharing those things with me, because the more they just scream and scream that
Yeah.
like something's wrong, the more I'm like, okay, clearly nothing's happening.
The ozone
Or nothing can happen.
The ozone layer, which also was like basically after an Inconvenient Truth, it was global warming, ozone. Those were the two, and ice caps. Those were the
Yeah.
three big words that everybody started using. The ozone layer for over a decade has been healing itself because we stopped using this one chemical.
Yeah.
Life's getting better. We're actually fighting that.
And it's like, that needs to be publicized just as much as the
Yeah.
scary stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to think, I like get scared to the point where I'm like, okay, so this is all hopeless.
Yeah.
Why would I do anything? This is all hopeless.
They did a study. Over 30% of British school children have recurring nightmares about global climate change.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I totally believe
That's insanity.
that. You have to do you got to take the hope approach.
But now it drives me nuts though, because anytime there's any weird weather, they're like climate change. Like that was the thing too. So when it came out, Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005. Like how devastating it was, like it's still understated how absolutely devastating Hurricane Katrina was. He said like, yeah, 2005, by the way, that's going to be the norm. The number of hurricanes is decreasing every year.
Is it?
Yeah. But the coverage of it is
Yeah.
increasing. And they're also getting better with names. Like they stopped naming it like Hurricane John. Now it's like Hurricane Tanya.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, ooh,
Ooh.
Hurricane Dixie.
Yeah.
D'Amelio.
Dixie D'Amelio.
Yeah.
I know. Who comes up with the list of names?
I hope it's one guy. Sometimes
know.
when there's like a who does this thing, I always kind of hope it's just one person.
I feel like they shouldn't, because I know they have a list where they're like, next year, like the next one will be named this, the next
Yeah.
one will be this. Like it's already predetermined.
Well, it goes ABC, you know that?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so the first hurricane of the year will be like Hurricane Andrew.
Okay, yeah. But so it's like they're already predetermined. I think they need to wait until it starts brewing, and then they're like, and then they need like
This one's got kind of a Joshua vibe.
I was gonna say they need like a crystal girl to be like, honestly,
Yeah.
the vibes on this one, it's very Victoria.
Yes.
like like
and like what's like
I need like someone to like sense that.
and I like that especially for if it gets really bad. Like if it's a really bad hurricane, you should be able to
Change that name a little
Hurricane
bit.
Caesar.
Yeah.
Like
Because Katrina's a cute name.
that's true.
Katrina's like Hurricane Katrina. That makes me think of a little baby. That
You
should
think of a baby with Katrina?
yeah, Katrina's like a baby name to me for some reason.
I think of the levees breaking in New Orleans.
Oh.
I think of
Yeah, but Katrina is like, oh, like Katrina. It's like they needed like
I think of chaos in the Superdome when I think of Katrina. I don't think of a baby. I think of sadness.
they need like Hurricane Brock.
Yes.
Like that's
Yeah,
what it
Brock
should have
is a strong
like,
name.
Like that was like the name
Yeah.
they should have picked. Katrina Brock.
Brock. And then kind of like have like like there was a Hurricane Isabel. And that's like a great name for like it's basically rain.
Yeah.
It's like not even that windy.
Yes.
Hurricane Isabel.
Isabel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's rebrand.
And then the other thing that I just remember too was there will be no more snow on Mount Kilimanjaro. It's gotten so much snow here. It's not even close. And so that's the problem with the global warming people is like you can't make crazy predictions because they keep on moving back the date where they're like, if we don't do this, if we don't start now, it's over.
Yeah.
And then the next year, like, if we don't start now, it's over. And I'm starting to not believe them.
I know.
Like, that's how you lose people.
I think every single activist group needs a rebrand.
They really do.
Like everyone needs a like PR relation. Like,
Yes.
hey, this is how you actually get the messaging across to people, and
Yes.
not just like fear, because that's what the news has become, fear mongering, because they think fear sells. Doesn't actually change shit.
Yeah.
Guilt and fear does work, but you also need to give hope, etc.
Yeah. And also, beyond fear, there's the opposite version of that, which is putting forward people that will cause the viewers fear. Like, I just remember it was so funny when they're like, we got to legalize weed. Every person who was like, legalize weed was the exact type of person where I'm like, we shouldn't legalize weed. It was always somebody where it's like, this person lives with 45 people in a basement.
You have Shaggy basically in the mystery
smell.
gang. Yeah.
The first time I ever went to LA, I guess as an adult, I remember being in an elevator at a hotel and there was, I guess, like a weed walk or something. And the guy was dressed like a leprechaun for green or whatever. It smelled so bad. I remember being like, they shouldn't legalize this. This is what happens. This is the death of our society.
Yeah.
And I see so many movements now where they're doing that exact thing. And it's like, no.
Show grandma who needs the weed for her cancer treatments because she doesn't feel good.
Show the CEO who uses weed for sleep.
Yeah.
But he's other than that, it's, what it is? It's there was a gay pride movement that was great in the 80s and 90s where basically it was parents walking with their gay children with signs being like, I'm proud of my gay son.
Yes.
And it was...
That's heartwarming.
But it's also like, if you take yourself back to when people were afraid of gay, like legitimately homophobic.
Yes.
Nobody's scared of gay people now. They used to be. Phobic's the wrong word.
Yeah.
But it used to be like, oh no, a gay.
Yeah.
But if you take yourself back to then, it's like, no, people were like, yeah, they're into weird leather bondage stuff and they're going to...
All they saw was basically the pornification of that. Yeah.
Those are the people that shouldn't be in the front of the parade.
Yeah.
The leather daddies shouldn't be in the front. They can be in the parade. Everyone's included.
We could have a leather daddy parade.
Sure. But to get the message across, it had to be like, hey, your next door neighbor who you love, he's gay.
Yeah.
That does it.
That he's the first digestible. And then it's like, then there's also these niche communities and whatever, and do with that what you will. But you need to have the most digestible, low key part of it and relatable part of it up front. Like that's why it's like, the parents work because it's like, that's digestible. That's sweet. That's showing,
Diane's son's gay. I love Diane.
I love
And her
Diane.
son's such a good boy. He just graduated from Harvard.
Yes.
He's gay? I guess he's not Satan. Maybe
I was wrong.
Maybe I was wrong and I'll learn.
Yeah.
I love now though too with the legalized weed movement and stuff. They're starting to kind of be like, what about coke? Like they're starting to like kind of.
I know. It's getting. I know they're like, what about these like ketamine treatments? It's
Ketamine,
it's
mushrooms,
like,
acid,
it's
all
like,
that.
guys,
like
let's chill out a little bit.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about ketamine, but I know with the hallucinogenics and stuff like that, it's like the high schooler who just turns 18. I feel like we're going to run into a lot of problems with him being like, I guess I can do this now, and taking way too many mushrooms, and that's just not a safe place to drive.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. I felt like growing up, they like hammered into me so much. Like people are gonna offer you drugs.
Yes.
Nobody offers me drugs.
No.
Nobody's offered me drugs.
I'll get offered drugs every now and then, but usually,
I guess honestly, more in the past couple of years, I've been offered more drugs if we're out. But before, no one offered me shit growing up. If anything, I was like, what's wrong with me? Why is nobody offering me drugs? Am I not cool enough to smoke weed?
Because nobody wants to waste money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to live with, I can't really smoke weed because it sucks. It just doesn't agree with me, which is a bummer because all my friends love it.
I like gummies. That's my safe spot. I won't smoke weed, but I'll have a little edible.
Remember the first time you ever got those edibles though?
Yeah.
How paranoid I was?
We had like one and like, it was like a 10 milligram,
10 milligram
one.
thing, which pot smokers are like, that's fucking nothing.
Yeah. And Jack literally put it on the table and he like took a knife and I was like, I'll eat the whole thing. I don't know. And Jack was like, no.
I cut it into 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
You literally like took like the teeniest thing. And I was like, I know I like we're lightweights. I don't think that's going to do anything.
And I said, what I wanted to do, which is what I did, is the first day I took 30 seconds. The next day I took 30 seconds, which is
a 16th?
A 16th.
Yes.
The next day,
the 16th chapel.
The next day, I took 30 seconds, which is
I don't know,
an eighth.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going divided by 2. And then eventually, I got to a thing where it's like, I actually feel this. I'm good. Have you ever accidentally had a drink where you didn't realize how alcoholic it was?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I guess. Have you ever had a Long Island iced tea?
Yeah.
Because that's the fun one.
Those are good.
We used to have Long Island iced tea races. With a straw, who can finish it first?
Who can finish it the fast?
I mean, it tastes.
I was gonna say
like shitty tea.
A drink I didn't realize was that strong was a roofie, but
oh yeah. The night you got roofie, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
I had no idea.
That was my favorite part. Was Jack was clueless.
We're at a friend's ex-girlfriend's
birthday
at a gay bar.
Yeah, we were in West Hollywood. We were. we could say the name, the Abbey. If you're in LA, you know the Abbey is just where it happens.
Yeah, it's where people get drugged.
Yeah. But
Which, isn't it surprising that a woman would get drugged at said gay bar? Isn't that kind of funny?
That's kind of why I was like, why me?
Yeah.
But that's like the big thing is with the Abbey is like, who's doing it? Is it the bartenders? Is it someone there? Like, who is behind it and what's the intention?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if that were to happen at a different bar, like the intentions would have felt differently. Like where it's like, they're trying to take me home or like something. One, we were at a gay bar. Two, I was with you. 3, it was 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Because we had just come from like a brunch.
Yeah, like a real, we were boozed up brunch.
We had watered down mimosas.
I had a lot of the mimosas.
I had one.
Yeah, I'd had most of the mimosas on the table. It was really good. but it makes sense too now that I think about it. Here's a little bit of advice for all you molesters out there.
Quick advice.
Quick advice for that community. It makes sense because if you think about it, besides gay men, I feel like the most common people who are going into a gay bar are packs of straight women.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're safe.
No, because there is kind of like a thing with...
I'll let my guard down.
Yeah, because there is a thing where it's like, no, straight alone men will show up to a gay bar and it's like, yeah, clearly there's a weird intention thing going on there. It was just so funny because we were with a group of like girls and guys and like, and it was just this mixed group. I was clearly standing right next to you. You were not the only guy in this group.
Well, I assume,
I don't know.
I assume you weren't standing right next, because we weren't together the whole time. We were obviously never more than arm's length apart, but like sometimes you were talking to somebody else and we were dancing and stuff.
I don't know, because I think I know exactly when it happened.
Yeah.
Because I put my drink up like this, like dancing.
That'll do it, yeah.
But like up high. And I remember, because it was empty, because again, it was fucking 5 p.m.
Yeah.
We were all kind of standing in a corner and someone I remember cut really close to our group. And I remember thinking, he didn't need to come that close when there's so much room in this room. Mm-hmm. And I remember that just being in my head, but I didn't think anything about it. I think he literally went like this as he walked by.
Yeah. I like to think that all the predators right now are literally just writing down notes being like, slow down.
I know.
Slow down. Wait.
And normally I had such a I got moment because I'm so paranoid and over prepared. And I even have those drink cover things in my purse. It was just one of those it kind of felt safe because we were with the group. I was with you. We were Uber distance. It just was it was early and we were at a gay club.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't clawing over my cup the way I normally would, because I normally hold my drinks like this.
Yes.
Just so that can't happen.
But your guard was down too.
My guard was down.
We're at a gay bar.
They got me. I got.
You got. When you get got, you get got, you know? But so now I'm going to tell my side of because after a certain point, you don't remember.
Yeah. Here, I'll preface with, okay, so here was my drink count. Because I am a lightweight. I do get pretty sloshed pretty quick. We went to this brunch. I had one of those basically super watered down mimosas. Don't even think I finished the whole thing. So I basically didn't feel anything. We went here. I believe I had 1 or 2 gin and tonics. I think just one.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think I had 1 gin and tonic and that was it.
I'm a heavyweight. I don't count drink. I just kind of go until I'm
I think I was on drink. So basically my first drink.
Yeah.
So that's all I had.
So my impression was I got pretty hammered at this brunch thing. And I'm sure our time at the bar, I probably had 4 drinks. But so all of a sudden you said to me hey, maybe we should head home. And I was like, okay. And I called an Uber and we went outside and I was like, wow, but you're a lightweight. But I was just like, okay, yeah, you probably had a shot and are now hammered. And it's like, yeah, let's go back home. We get in the Uber and you immediately gave me the look like I'm going to throw up. And while we were Uber distance, it's LA. So we were probably 2 miles from our house. So we were 45 minutes away. And we were cutting through a canyon, which is, I can't believe those streets are legal.
I know. And
so we're going like this. And the whole time I'm like, fuck, she's going to throw up in this Uber. You somehow make it. We had the windows down the whole time. The second we get in front of our apartment.
I don't remember I don't remember leaving. I don't remember being in an Uber.
Yeah. And the funny part is this whole time I was like, wow, when did you get so drunk? At no point, never once until the next morning did it cross my mind that you could have possibly been drugged. It's just sometimes you black out. That's how it is. They drops us off at our apartment. You basically spill out and immediately throw up in the bushes. Which is honestly, I didn't know that until a year later, which is, I'm thank God, because I would have been mortified living in our building. I would have been we have to move. Yeah.
I puked outside.
But You threw up in the bushes. It's so funny. Here's a thing that women will never really experience. If you are, and you were we weren't even engaged at the time,
No.
were we? So now with the wedding rings, it's different. There is something to kind of a weird, like nervous thing in the back of your head when you're a guy. And you're like, hey, my girlfriend's blackout drunk. We're going to our shared apartment.
Totally.
Does this guy think I'm taking it? Does this guy think I roofied you?
No, totally. Because I kind of remember like thinking about that the next day, being like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Like if I clearly was so not there, like did this Uber driver think you were kidnapping me basically?
Yeah. Like, and I was just, so you kind of have to do like the thing where I'm constantly like naming like, well, when your mom, Melissa said, like, I know things about you.
I know this woman.
I'm not a stranger.
Yeah.
I was kind of doing that. So I basically carried you to our apartment. We get in there. You immediately sprint to the bathroom. I think you sprint. Maybe you like waddled. I don't know. You went to the bathroom. When you throw up, you don't want me to be around. So you clock the door. And I was like, that's, again, all of this is par for the course for when you're too drunk. There's not been, if I had known your drink count, I would have been suspicious. But for all I know, you took 2 shots while I wasn't looking. And this is just sort of what happens.
But I've never been like blackout drunk before.
No?
Like I've never been blackout drunk before. And so it's like, I'm always like drunk and like, woo, but like you've never like, didn't you have to like kind of like carry me back into the, like basically ragdoll?
I carry you all the time.
Like back to the apartment though?
I forget. I didn't like firemen carry you, but
No, but like basically you just like walk me. Like
I was holding you up. Yeah. I was definitely holding you up.
Yeah.
And then I tucked you into bed. But again, I've done that before when you weren't drugged. So none of this is raising any alarms. Anyway, you were asleep by like 6:30 p.m. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. with our dog Goose. I drank a bunch of beers. I think we had like a DiGiorno's pizza. I like made that. Maybe I ordered a pizza. I forget. I watched Gravity for the first time with Sandy Bullock, and George Clooney. Not very good. I didn't really get the hype.
No?
I think you have to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
But then when, I got a great night's sleep and the next morning you woke up and you said, I think I was drugged. And I said, now that I think about it, that makes a lot of sense.
I just remember opening my eyes, being like, oh my God, we're in bed. And I like vampire sat out of bed. I was drugged. Like I immediately knew because I've never blacked out before. I knew I didn't have that many drinks.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I had zero memory of anything. And so that was freaky. And I had this like weird feeling about me where I was like, yeah, I was drugged.
Like to me, the funniest part though is I can't overemphasize how casual I was the entire night. The entire night I was like, yeah, she's hammered. I put a trash can near your side of the bed. Yeah. I got you tons of water. You woke up with Gatorade near you. I was like, yeah, you're going to be really hungover. Like I just, at no point, I watched multiple movies. Like
it's funny because it's like, it's not fun. Like getting roofied is not funny, but it just,
this was as funny as it could have been given the circumstances.
Yes. Because it was like, I was safe. Like I was safe. I was fine. I was with you. You got me home. Yeah. Like it was more the circumstances. If it was hilarious that it was at a gay bar and it was 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You know what though? At least it was wintertime, so it was kind of a dark 5 p.m.
I know. I will say I did have, I had this really cute outfit that I wore that day that made me, I was so excited to wear it. Like I had it in my closet forever, didn't know when I was going to wear it. And that was the day where I was like, oh, perfect opportunity to wear this outfit. I wore it. I thought it slayed. And then every time since I've been like, I feel weird putting it back on. There's like a weird wave or like cloud over it now where I'm like, I got roofied in this dress.
Well, I'm kind of resistant to bring this up, but there is also a big factor in the story that you're missing.
What?
Do you remember when we Ubered to the brunch? You looked at your phone and you said something.
Oh my God. Yes.
And I remember that was the first time I was like,
you're like, maybe I believe.
Maybe, was it tarot cards or astrology?
So it was through like my horoscope app, but they also do they pull, you could have like a daily tarot card reading basically, which is so stupid over an app, but I like to see every day. Yeah. It's just like a fun little feature.
Yeah.
I pulled the death card that day. We were in the Uber and I remember I got scared because I was like, I'm in a fucking car right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to pull the death card while I'm in the car.
Yeah, but we were in downtown Hollywood. There's nothing like, the car's going 4 miles an hour.
I know, but still.
It's dodging all the Korean Christians telling us the world's about to end.
Yes. And I just remember being like, I pulled the death card, which I know is like not supposed to mean like that. It's supposed to be like death of something and like a rebirth of something else, like in your life. But it just was like, what?
Is there Like I thought about that like the next day, like, holy shit. Cause you don't ever like,
Because I always say crazy stuff to you, but
yeah, well, I mean, we can get into you believe a lot of things
yes.
that I don't.
Yeah, it was that time. And one time I was trying to fall asleep and you go to bed before me or after me. So like I was trying to fall asleep, you were awake. And I was so anxious. Like I could not get myself to fall asleep. And like with my eye mask on, I just said, can you Google if Mercury's in retrograde?
Yes.
And you were like, what? I was like, can you just, you looked up, you're like, yeah, it is. And I was like, yep, I thought so.
Like you literally called it like it just started. And I was like, shit, maybe there's something to this. But that's our funny roofie story.
I was going to say, sorry, I took us on a roofie tangent. But
you kidding me? That was I'm still trying to workshop, as a comedian, I'm constantly trying to workshop like, okay, what's the best structure of this story? What do you start and end with? And that's weirdly a story where it's like, I just think it was so funny now that you're better. What would happen though? Like, I also think like, what if I had been the one roofied? Like, what happens there?
I don't think it would have hit you the same way because you're so big.
But also, I assume you didn't finish your drink.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would have probably finished my drink.
Yeah, we were with other guys though, so I would have had someone help me. Like I would have figured it out.
You know what? You're right. It would have been a lot more obvious that I was drugged.
And also,
if all of a sudden I was like that.
Because you never actually act drunk or anything like that, I probably would have called 911.
Yeah.
I think I would have been like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Because I literally never see you like act drunk.
Like me not being able to stand is I don't think that's ever happened.
I would be very worried.
Yeah.
So I think I just would have called the ambulance.
That is, we've talked about this before too. There is something to like, I kind of have like a perpetual like little fear of like, if I pass out, like if you pass out, I take you into the car and we go to the hospital.
Remember the last time I passed out?
Yeah. The last time you passed out.
Sorry, wait, finish your fear first and then
My fear is if I pass out, if I'm on the ground, I'm unconscious. Like you can't carry me.
No, I'm more in I immediately go get help, call for help.
Which is arguably the better thing to do.
Yeah.
Me thinking I can solve the situation that I probably can't solve. You know, no, I think me literally putting you in a car while I call the hospital
might be faster.
Might be the faster way.
But I would be comfortable calling and knocking on doors or like whatever. Like I'm okay with doing that. Like, and I wouldn't take a second either to do that. I'd be like, I'm immediately getting help. Like I'm not wasting time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last time I passed out, because I'm a big pass out girl.
Yeah.
I get faint very easily. I like just all these things. I think I was so stressed that I passed out. I think
it was right before the wedding.
Yeah, that's what it was.
My highs were at peak badness.
Yeah.
So I'd been awake for like 48 straight hours.
Yeah.
Like itching.
Yeah. Jack basically had like a skin episode thing, and like it was a whole
twice
thing.
in the last year. It was terrible.
Yeah. You basically were like sick for a year.
Yeah.
Like honestly, that's why 2023 we seemed like we uploaded a lot less. It's because we did.
It was partly like, well, I don't want to shoot a sketch if my face is on fire. But also it was like, it was really hard to come up with. Things aren't as funny when you're itchy.
You were delirious. You were like, you didn't feel well. You couldn't sleep. Like
I was on so many steroids, so much prednisone. It was crazy.
You basically you had ice packs all over your body.
Yeah, I did like full mummy ice packs.
Yeah.
That was the only way for me to like soothe it. But anyway, I think were really stressed.
I was so stressed because it was like, okay, I wanted to, you were feeling terrible. Like I didn't know what to do about that. I was still trying to get like some work done. We had the wedding. Like the wedding was like a month or so away. I think at this point. I
think it was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was getting close, and I like felt like the walls were coming in on me. It was like all these people are flying in. Like there was a lot of pressure on the wedding.
You're getting 800 questions a day from 50 different people.
Yes.
And you have to answer all of them.
Yes. And I was like, and I'm so indecisive that like wedding planning was hell for me because I hated having to make decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I literally was just so stressed that like I passed out.
Yeah.
And I passed out in our hallway in our apartment.
Yes. But we were in the hallway because I think you were like, oh, I feel really faint. And then you just all of a sudden were out and were falling. And so I caught you. And
this is the only time I wish we had like a security camera recording in our apartment.
I caught you. And I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. But again, I was like 48 hours no sleep, so my memory is not great out of
You basically like Heimlich maneuvered me to catch me.
Yes. I Heimlich maneuvered. I remember you're right.
You caught me basically with my stomach.
You were unconscious and you made the like sound, and I'm like, oh no. So then, So then I got. Okay, here's what it was. There was a pillow on the ground. You were like sitting on a pillow on the ground in the hallway because I think the floor was cold or something.
Okay.
It was something that there was a pillow on the ground. I caught you. You made the sound. I was like, oh my God, am I going to like literally break your ribs by accident? So I immediately turned to try to get your head on the pillow and your face first in the pillow. Like literally the worst thing I could do, which was basically, oh, you're unconscious. Now you've like your nose and your mouth, you cannot breathe.
Covered.
And I was like, fuck. So I literally turned you and I was like, well, I can't break your neck to move your face. Like it was.
Was that like a humbling moment where you were like, oh, it's not that easy to be like, oh, so I'm passed out. Like, let me scoop you for like figuring this out. It was like
It was in extreme circumstances of, we were in a very tight space. There was no preparation. All of a sudden you're like, I'm going down. Like that was it. You just go, and this is it. And you just started going. When you did come to, I said, okay, that's great. You're okay. Can I tell you a funny story of what just happened? And you thought it was so funny that your anxiety and stress went away.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool.
Also, I haven't moved my hair today. I am wearing a Pitbull shirt. Mm-hmm. This is official tour merch because we went to see Pitbull.
I will say it now. I will say it a million times. Pitbull's the greatest live show I've ever been to.
Ever.
Hands down.
How has he not done the Super Bowl halftime yet?
Has he not?
No, he hasn't.
You know what? Here's why I think. I genuinely think he's waiting to do it in Miami.
Yeah, I think so too. Pitbull, literally the best concert I've ever been to. I am basically begging him to just have a residency somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want him to keep touring because I will fly to Miami to go see Pitbull.
Yes.
Like I would be like, oh, Pitbull has a Miami residency. Let's make a trip. Let's go to Miami to see him. He's so good.
He's and you know what the big thing too is, and this is so true about all concerts. It's so much better when you know every song that they play.
And you know every song that he plays.
You know, and songs you didn't even realize he was a part of.
Uh-huh.
Like honestly, it's like Lil Jon could do that too, where it's like, oh yeah, he's on 55 top 10 singles. Mm-hmm. It's just most of them aren't his songs.
Yeah, but he's on them.
But he can do it.
He carries.
Yeah, he can carry. I just looked up. Miami did host the Super Bowl in 2020.
Oh.
But like we were talking about, because we live in Vegas now, and we were driving by Allegiant Stadium last year. The Super Bowl was
in Vegas.
There's now these kind of crazy new standards for what a city has to have to host the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And so I guess Miami does have a dome now. But like the biggest thing is there has to be a dome. They don't want there to be any weather. But so for a second, I was like, maybe they're waiting till the next Miami Super Bowl, but maybe that'll happen soon, in which case you have to have Pitbull.
I know.
And do the group thing. Like it used to be like, it's the Rolling Stones. Now it's like that one year they had like Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
And Bruno Mars blew them out of the water.
Bruno Mars is so good. We need to see him while he's here.
Yeah.
Before he pays off that debt.
I think he's working to death.
You think so?
I think he owes a lot of money.
I think you might too. But I don't know that new Lady Gaga song he has is doing pretty good as well.
What was the percentage you said where it's like he's made 53 songs and like 25 were number ones or something?
Like more than that. Like it's like say it was 50, it basically was like 40.
His batting average is Hall of Fame legendary status.
Like that includes all of his albums. Where it's like, no, basically every single one's a hit.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
There is something to this. This is my spectrum brain. In the LeBron versus MJ debate, okay, the biggest argument for the Michael Jordan side, people be like, Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Before we start, can you tell me who you like more? Who do you think?
I was a LeBron guy, but I don't like his stance with China. I'm not even kidding you. I don't like the celebrities who are clearly making boatloads of money in China,
like John Cena.
Yeah, and are so just completely fold all of their morals and standing or whatever. And it's like part of me, it's like I do get that. At least it's for money. Anyway. But I like to think where it's like, if you're a part of this generation, you should be a LeBron fan, fight for your own. Now LeBron, he's the all-time leading scorer. He's I think statistically the most impressive basketball player all time for a career.
Okay.
And I don't think it's really close because he's still playing. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. the big argument for Michael Jordan is he never lost a NBA Finals.
Okay.
He went to 6. He won 6.
Okay.
LeBron's lost a lot of NBA Finals. He's won 4, but he's lost, I think, more than he's won.
Okay.
So the argument, but here's how stupid that argument is. There were plenty of times where Michael Jordan didn't even make the finals.
Yeah.
So why would you punish, why does LeBron get punished for second places? It doesn't make any sense. So what you're saying is he should have not even made it to the finals those years and it would be a better debate. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know you're right.
So Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah.
So basically there's tons of artists who probably have more number one, singles or whatever. Migos. Didn't they release 2 albums a year?
Yeah. And they were featured on everything.
There's
they were really, really oversaturated.
There's 500 Migos songs.
But they would have, 5 big Migos songs, but it's they were featured on 40 that year.
And so my question is what's more impressive? I look, if you go to Spotify and you type in a classic rock band, you type in Aerosmith, they just officially retired, but Aerosmith, the Rolling Stones or something, they're still releasing albums, completely new songs. They release every 3 years, they release a new album. Nobody ever, not even rock stations play, hey, here's the Rolling Stones new single. No one cares.
Yeah, when they were Sydney Sweeney's in this new Rolling Stones music video, I was like, a new Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
I was like, they're still making music?
They still are making music.
But it's you consider them the greats. That's why I have such a rant on today's kids' generations, they place so much on nostalgia for who is the best.
Yes.
The GOAT. And I always use Addison Rae as an example.
Yeah.
When she did that movie,
what
movie? It was the reboot.
She's All That?
She's All That, or whatever. It was one of those reboots or whatever. We watched it and everyone was like, her acting's so bad, blah, blah, blah. Sure, she maybe isn't an award-winning actress, but it's for that standard of that type of movie, if you compare her acting to the acting in Clueless, because we also, in that same week, watch Clueless, I remember being they are just, some of them are just saying the lines. It's not good.
Yeah.
But we consider them good. This movie's so good. And because it's old, this nostalgia thing. Now, I'm not saying either of those things were bad, but it's they're putting way too much pressure on oh, fuck Addison Rae. When it's no, she's just as up to par as those movies. You glamorize nostalgia way more.
You will make concessions.
Yeah.
To nostalgia. It's why if a movie comes out with really shitty CGI now, you're it was terrible. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, it's better CGI than there was in the 90s for these classic movies that you're but subconsciously you're that's okay because this is a classic. Anyway, my question is Bruno Mars having such a high hit batting average? Is his career more impressive than somebody who has actually more hits, but
more losses?
Way more losses? What's the difference? How do you measure the all-time
that's
great
interesting.
artists?
I would say a Bruno Mars over someone who releases a million songs because it's
well, we have to take Bruno Mars out of this because he's actually fucking amazing. Bruno Mars is
but it's
a talent.
If your percentage is higher, I think that makes you the best.
I think to a certain extent. I think if your percentage is you have to hit a certain another sports reference here. They don't you have to have a certain number of at-bats per game played to even be considered for batting average, who wins the batting average title or the on-base percentage title. You have to play enough games for you to be considered.
Yes.
Because somebody who plays 10 games is great for those 10 games and gets hurt. Obviously, they're batting 450. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, because it's even with them, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are constantly compared to. Constantly. And they're oh, who's better? Who's this? Nicki Minaj has, and I like both of them. Nicki Minaj has so many more huge hits, longevity career. But Cardi B has one album.
Yeah. That's perfect album.
She has one album. She has not released an album. She had EPs when she was before she got really big or whatever. But she has one album.
Yeah.
And has not released another album since I think, 2018? And she has not, but she's still in that conversation of who's better. And it was because this one album is really good. And it's interesting because it's I guess she's on other songs. Those songs aren't as big as what those breakout songs were, but she's still now kind of in that conversation.
You're right.
When it's even Megan Thee Stallion's released like 3 albums or whatever and has even more hits. And
Who
like,
says my favorite? Who sings the song that has the "These is bloody shoes"?
that's Cardi.
I'm a Cardi guy. The first time I heard that, I was like, I really like that. That's a good song.
But it's like, that's the song that made her big, and that's on her one album.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting.
But then Nicki is the one who does the thing on Monster, right?
Yeah.
I'd be a Nicki guy.
I think Nicki's the best.
Yeah. Well, rap is also, because of the featured thing, it's so confusing. And also because of the, like, again, to make it like the rock analogy thing with it, where it's like Bruno Mars is actually producing this music. Like, he can't really just be like, and I just sing like pop stars and rappers do. And obviously there's like Kanye's a rapper producer and stuff.
Yeah.
So in a weird way for rap, it kind of feels like the sample size doesn't matter as much. It shouldn't be as considered. It's more whose peak song is the best is weirdly that holds more weight to me than who has the longevity and the higher batting average.
Yeah, I could dissect this forever, but I'm not going to keep us on this subject forever. You told me you wanted to fill me in on some football drama.
Yeah, so this might be a weekly segment. We'll see. I've learned through you, and also before then too, like we were talking about, we are very, very different people.
Yes.
I think it'd be fun for this podcast. You teach me something, I teach you something each episode.
Yeah.
So I also learned from you that you do not care for the most part about sports whatsoever, correct? Is that fair?
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
The things that you do care about, the only time...
Because, okay, honestly, do you know what it is? It's like when we first started dating, and was it Juan Soto?
Yeah.
You were like, oh, like he's hitting all these home runs. And I was like, is he not a professional fucking baseball player?
That was Kyle Schwarber.
Oh, yeah.
In that one June where he hit so many home runs. And that was the funniest line you ever just said. You're like, isn't that his job?
Isn't that his job? Like, that's how I feel about professional sports sometimes. It's like...
I was like, shit, you're right.
Like, why aren't they only hitting home runs? That's crazy to me. I don't know.
Okay, so what I've learned though through you, and you've actually just straight up said it to me, the way for you to get interested in sports is for me to deliver the news like it's gossip.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to try to do today.
Okay, perfect.
Tyreek Hill got arrested outside of the stadium before week 1 of the season.
I did see that. I did see that on TMZ.
It was like...
And I did see the body cam footage, and that was a little aggressive.
It was for
a speeding situation.
It was not a good look.
It was not a good look. Because what town did this happen in?
Miami.
In Miami?
It was a home game. People would step in.
People would have stepped in.
Anyway, so we woke up. We were at a hotel, and we woke up, and I was really hungover. And I looked at my phone, and I was like, I'm still dreaming because this is such an insane fucking story. So there are still a few, like, obviously, you know what Travis Kelce looks like, what Jason Kelce looks like. Tyreek Hill's up there of like, he's not a quarterback. People know what he looks like though.
I was going to say, because I actually knew what he looked like.
Yeah. So it's not like this cop who is, by the way, outside of the stadium on a game day, wasn't it me like, you're Tyreek Hill, you know?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like Raheem Mostert, who I don't think like a lot of people wouldn't recognize Raheem Mostert, who's a running back.
Yeah. So was he actually taken to was he booked or anything? Or did they just put him in cuffs? I
think the word is, and I haven't seen apparently a video just came out. I haven't seen it. I know that it's like the cop's in the wrong. He's going to get fired.
Yeah.
But apparently it was, he was going 60 in a
40 or something.
I don't even think it was 40. I think he was really speeding.
Okay.
I mean, his Instagram, his handle on social media is literally Cheetah. He's, for the longest time, was the fastest player in the NFL.
Yeah.
He tried out for the Olympics as a sprinter. His whole thing is speed. He drives like a Lamborghini, one of those cars where it's like the whole purpose of this is to go fast.
He's Lightning McQueen. Speed, I am speed.
He is literally Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
As a football player.
Yeah.
Needless to say, he was going faster than he should have.
Yeah. Which I am someone I'm very, very don't drive stupid. Like I hate the people who not just your loud cars, whatever, if you want to be loud, but just the like, oh, I'm going to speed for no fucking reason, or I'm going to text and drive, I'm going to swerve, I'm going to go absurdly fast on the freeway. I think you're the biggest asshole in the world.
Yeah, you're putting other people at risk.
Yes.
Anyway, pulls him over. Apparently Tyreek Hill, I'm sure, said to him, I'm fucking Tyreek Hill. We're in Miami and I'm about to play a game. Stop it. And the guy, I think, didn't like that.
Yeah.
And it just sort of, apparently also in the middle of the conversation, again, I have not seen the video, but apparently Tyreek Hill was like, I love the cops. Like, dude, what are you doing? I want to become a cop one day. Like, which is hilarious. Anyway, so that's the biggest gossip because like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Now we're going to get a little bit more into the weeds. I'm going to try to gossipify.
Okay.
So
on
Monday, 49ers, cutie running back.
Okay.
AKA Olivia Culpo's either fiance or husband.
Remember they got married? And she did the whole like, I'm going to be pure because brides should be pure on their wedding day shit.
Yes. And you didn't like her wedding dress.
No, I thought it was a lot for a summer wedding.
Yeah. And then I said, but didn't like a famous designer make it? So she probably was like, I can't say no.
No, absolutely. I think it was Dolce & Gabbana made it for her. And it's
Dolce?
Like, yeah.
Oh my God.
Like just like Courtney's wedding.
Like Court?
Yeah.
When Machine Gun Kelly played?
Yeah.
I watched things. Anyway, so Liv Culpo's husband, hubby. Who?
Okay, right. Christian McCaffrey. Christy B.
I think it really works better for these segments. I think I should not call them their full names and just call them like, so Christian said.
Yeah.
That works really good.
So
Chrissy, for the past like month or so has been like sidelined. They're just like watching. He's like this calf strain thing, but it's like, whatever. He'll be ready for week 1, whatever. Oh my God.
Like eat a banana. You'll be
fine.
Eat
a banana. He's totally fine.
Oh
like this is just precautionary. He'll be ready for game day.
Yeah.
And then an hour before the game, we find out he's not playing. And so this is a big issue for many reasons. One is he's one of the most dynamic players in the NFL.
Okay.
He broke so many records. I don't know if he's broken any records because it used to be more of a running league, but he was the number 1 running back last year. Okay. Completely changes the offense.
Okay.
It's like
9
he's the running back who can catch, sweetie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
He's both a receiver and a running back, and he's white, and that's kind of weird because he's so fast. And people are like, wait, this can't be real. But it's real, and Liv Culpo loves it. She's all about it. So anyway, he's not playing an hour before game time. So his backup, Jordan Mason, also a cutie, he does real good.
Okay.
Like he nails it. Like people are like, why even have Christian?
Like he girl bossed.
Why even have Christian when Jordan can do it? Jordan Mason, they win the game. Woohoo! Beat Aaron Rodgers. And
Aaron Rodgers is back?
He's back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's back in a big way.
Did he have a banana? He fixed it?
He had an Achilles injury.
Oh, okay.
And then
he went a banana.
And then he was like, I'm not going to get vaccinated.
Oh, yeah.
And he spent some time with ayahuasca. That's other gossip.
That's a whole other thing.
Game's over. They're interviewing Jordan Mason, Christian's backup, who filled in, and he had a great game. And they're like, Jordan, oh my God. And he was like, I know, oh my God. And then they're like, when did you find out that you were going to be starting? And he said, last Friday. Stop the presses.
Literally record scratch. Rewind. Did he just say that?
In all seriousness, this actually was a real record scratch moment, and I'm going to tell you why.
No, that's tea, sister.
So it's more than tea. It's a violation of rules. So in the NFL, here's the thing. Here's one of the weird rules that people don't really know about. In the NFL, you have to every day publish what's called a practice report.
Okay.
Who played in practice, who didn't play in practice, and the reasoning why.
Okay.
So sometimes it'll be like...
And this is public information to everyone else?
You have to publicize it.
Okay.
It goes out, there's a practice report. And so it'll be like, Lamar Jackson didn't practice today, knee tightness or something like that. And then they'll have basically like, just precautionary, will likely play on Sunday. Mm-hmm. That literally is the story that happened today. The reasons why, they have a bunch of fake reasons why, but the reasons why is literally gambling. And this has been the case for a long, long time because what players are playing affects what the odds are going to be.
Yeah, totally.
So you have to publish, hey, the star running back, the number 1 running back from last year, the running back who almost won the MVP award when it's basically a quarterback award, and probably should have won it last year. He's out. You have to say that. So Jordan Mason says, he's like, girl, I found out on Friday.
Oops.
So it's like,
he let that slip.
Record scratch. Cut to in the locker room, Jordan Mason, he wasn't crying, but he was like, I just got chewed the fuck out. And he's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And then Kyle Shanahan, the head coach, Christian's coach, he was like, he must have maybe a coach told him that to hype him up. I never said that to him. All these things like that.
It's a misunderstanding.
He
misspoke.
So now it looks like the NFL is going to have to investigate because the 49ers broke the rule. which is the bummer because it was such a big day for Jordan. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God, and his day was ruined.
His day was ruined.
Ugh, that's not his fault. He was just being honest.
He was just
He's being persecuted for the truth.
Yeah.
This is a witch hunt.
Say it louder.
What's his name? Jordan?
Period.
Jordan? We support you, Jordan.
Period. Okay, drama number 3.
Wow, that was good though. I was eating that up.
You were reading that up?
Yeah.
Drama number 3. Aaron Rodgers did not get hurt in his first game.
Oh.
And that's amazing.
I thought you meant like last year.
So last year,
I was like, he lied?
the gossip right now is he didn't get hurt. Like the whole time I was like, each play I was like,
Is he gonna get hurt?
it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, how old is he?
He's 40.
So, and that's old for NFL, right?
It's extremely old for the NFL. Tom Brady played till like 46. But
How did he do with his little comeback as an announcer?
I didn't even have that down, but it's like, okay, Tom Brady.
So because obviously he's the greatest or whatever. Everyone, yeah, it's Tom Brady. But I just think he is like a mannequin. Like he has like no, which it's like you have to be when you're so good at something. You basically just zone in. This is your life, your passion. But like he doesn't really have like the personality.
Tom Brady, it was really weird. It was so hyped up. Do you know how much they're paying him?
$20 million a year.
No, it's higher.
Oh God, it's $100 million.
It's actually 3 times higher than that. It's $300 million. He better be the greatest. Like, no, he's being paid more than anybody has ever been paid to be on TV ever by such a huge margin, like exponentially more.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Just give them money, the sweet Manning brothers. I like that
They're making pretty good money.
I know they are. And I like that they do
But they're working for their money.
They're absolutely working.
Yeah.
I respect those guys so much.
They're
They
awesome.
they have such a great dynamic. They're personable. They care about this. They do the show together. Like those are the guys where I'm like, give the brothers a show. That's why the Kelsey brothers thing works too. It's like I like the brother dynamic. They like football.
Yes.
Like yeah,
And now Bill Belichick is going to be, I think, the first half of every Manning cast.
love that.
Which is like, that's the okay, so we have 3 people who have really strong personalities, different types of personalities, but like, and they actually really know football. I really enjoyed it. I watched the first one. Anyway, Tom Brady, there's so much hype. It's not like he was bad. It was just like
It's just he's just a guy.
like I was going to say, it's like if I was the color commentator, but no, I'd be a lot more interesting.
You'd be so funny.
Yeah, I'd be a lot more interesting than that. There were so many times where
I'm always okay. I know these don't get very many views, but if there's anyone out there with the Nats, they need to give
why
me
have I not thrown out a Nats first pitch?
Why the fuck haven't you thrown out a Nats first pitch?
Why the fuck have I not?
They have like 6 fans.
Yeah.
They're all senators.
That doesn't even count.
Let Jack, the fucking pool boy,
I do
who, by the way, can throw a fucking baseball.
Yeah. No, I would actually throw a really good first pitch.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Why haven't you? Like that's out. That's why I'm like.
There's like
they're
12
so
people in the
small.
stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time we went to a game, we were on camera the whole time.
Yeah. Still though. Anyway, but Tom Brady, you just like, so do you know what a color commentator is?
Yeah.
So that's Tom Brady's job. And there was so much silence
Oh God.
where it was just kind of like, now would be a great time to hear some of those pearls of wisdom by Tom Brady. Okay, so I'm a New York Giants fan. I'm just going to say this out loud right here. Just for my sanity for this season, the Giants do not exist. I have to kind of tune that out. I'm like, have you ever seen the Rob Lowe picture?
With the NFL hat.
With the NFL hat.
That's my favorite picture of all time, and that's exactly how I feel.
He literally is wearing, he doesn't have a team. Go NFL.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if that's not the most unaware celebrity move of all time, I don't know.
It's just so on brand for him to be like, well, I don't want to pick sides.
Exactly.
Like he's just a nice guy. I don't want to pick sides. I want them all to have fun.
But so that's less gossip and more just being like, I don't want to hear it. So Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala.
I did see that.
Big surprise.
Yeah. Which also at the same time, I was expecting her to kind of say nothing.
Same.
So I think it's so funny that people are always like, so who's Taylor Swift going to endorse? And the answer is because she's so ginormous. She's going to get.
She's actually the one celebrity where her endorsement actually matters.
It does.
You know how much it drives me nuts when they're like, literally the New York Times wrote an article that said Barbara Streisand endorses Kamala. And it was like, who the fuck thought?
The Strice heads.
Who the fuck thought that Barbara Streisand was a Trumpster?
Yeah.
Who on earth thought she was MAGA?
No one.
You're literally just saying the sky is blue.
Yeah.
Like, it's more interesting when it's like, hey, did you know Barbara Streisand endorsed Trump? Like, that's news.
That's news.
But weirdly, Taylor Swift is the one celebrity who her endorsement actually drives up a chunk of the vote.
Yeah, like voter registration went up like the first time she posted about it. No, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
And it's very funny how it's like, no, she really does have basically millennial white women voters, which is a huge chunk of voters.
Oh, yeah.
What if she, which is like, okay. But it's just so
And
interesting.
before you listeners say like, well, they were going to vote for Kamala anyway. Yes, they were. But the difference is
They may have not voted.
they might not, they probably, a good chunk of them would not have voted. Now they probably will. And they'll be wearing Taylor Swift merch and it'll be like an Eras thing going to the polls.
Yeah.
Like that is a crazy dynamic.
I know, it is really crazy. I wrote down in my notes, what would have happened if she endorsed Trump? Would she have, because the question is, what would have happened?
Yeah.
Would her fans have supported her or made an excuse for her?
I think...
Or dropped her, basically been like, I'm no longer a fan of Taylor. Like, what would she have been canceled or supported?
I think that of her fans, I think 10% would have said she's dead to me, never talking to her again. I think a shockingly high percentage would have been like, yeah, Trump makes some good points.
I think so too.
I think a lot of them would have done that. And then I think the remaining would have made an excuse and been like, yeah, I don't like that, but I like the rest of her.
Yeah.
But I think it legitimately would have shifted swing states for Trump.
I think so too.
Yeah. Like this, it's less of a shift, her supporting Kamala, because it's the assumed. Like it will drive up the voter.
Which maybe I'm just a hater. And I really don't like, I am a Taylor Swift hater, but I'm not actually like, I don't think she's a bad person. I don't like any of that. But like, I don't fucking believe her that she's a liberal. I think she gets brownie points for it. Like I think, or maybe it's more of, I just think she gets a lot of credit for being this like trailblazer person.
Fucking yeah.
Because
her gay marriage thing's the funniest thing that's up there with the NFL hat.
That absolutely. Because I always said like, I didn't like her music. That made me be like, okay, I don't like her. When she released her documentary, she painted herself to be this martyr.
Yes.
She basically promoted this documentary with like, I'm making a big stand during the Trump administration, saying, I'm going to come out and support gay marriage.
Which has been legal.
Literally already been legalized for more than a presidential term.
Yes.
It wasn't, because even before it was legalized, people were already talking about it. People were already okay with it. People were advocating for it.
Yeah.
You said that you were making this big difference and making yourself the hero years after it had already been legalized.
Yes.
I thought that's what made me be like, okay, I'm absolutely out on her.
Yeah. But what's interesting about the Taylor Swift thing though is, so she's obviously dating Travis Kelce.
Yeah, which I actually love that for her. I think they're a great pair.
Yeah. She needed a man. That's the thing too.
Yes. That's also something that bothers me. She dates these like little sickly looking British boys.
Did you one of the Jonas Brothers?
Right? Probably.
Tom Hiddleston.
Joe Jonas.
Joe Jonas. Tom Hiddleston.
Her last boyfriend was some like British actor guy.
I think her most masculine boyfriend to this point has been Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, he's cut out freaking.
Yeah.
He's shredded.
Yeah. But no, I agree. This feels like an all-American, like,
she's dating an American man,
like
with a beard.
Fits for her. I think they need to get married. I love that for them.
He drinks beer.
You
know. He knows how to shovel a driveway. He will shovel it.
She's getting her world rocked right now.
Yes.
She's never going back to any of these skinny British boys.
She's coming. Like.
Yeah, these guys that she's dated before have never.
No.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Anyway, good for her. The point I was going to make though was she's coming. The point I was going to make is Brittany Mahomes. There's the drama.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to bring up. They sat in separate boxes for the first game, but then they hugged the next one or whatever. Or the
Brittany Mahomes supports Trump. Everybody's like, well, what does Patrick think? Patrick Mahomes supports Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Of course, he's from Texas. Patrick Mahomes supports Donald Trump. He makes a lot of money. He doesn't want to pay taxes.
Did you see what Trump responded to the whole thing?
What did he say?
Donald Trump thinks that Taylor Swift will lose fans over the Kamala Harris endorsement. Praises Brittany Mahomes.
There was a stat for the debate last night where it was what percentage of people feel like they need to know more from Donald Trump? And it was like 0.1%. Like everybody knows that Donald Trump could say, do anything. You're either in or out. It's over. His book, people have made their decisions. There's nothing he can say right now. He's like, my favorite color is green. People are like, what? No. The other day, there was like a Morgan Wallen concert. Now, he's the one who...
is he the one who threw the chair?
Yes. He's also said the N-word. He's done a bunch of stuff, which he's why we first had that conversation where I was like, who just... Like, oh, he got caught saying the N-word. Who just says the N-word? What? We don't have to do it again, but what white person just says it to the point where it's like, and they caught him? Why would he even that be possible? Anyway, went with the two of them with Harrison Butker, the kicker. Travis Kelce supports Donald Trump. I'm sorry, he does.
Travis Kelce?
Yeah, he's a Trump fan. Of course he is.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Patrick Mahomes.
I was, but I'm saying like, also, by the way, Travis Kelce is a Trump supporter. He might not openly say it. Travis Kelce supports Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Almost every...
I can't believe he was hanging out with Harrison
Most
Butker.
manly men support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what it is. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of political science that can go into it, a lot of demographic-based stuff. Just, that's a funny dynamic where I was like, part of me was like, I bet she doesn't do it because it's like, that's kind of trouble at home. But I'm guessing they also don't really care.
Yeah. Honestly, I think my biggest shock out of that whole thing was that Brittany Mahomes was like publicly supportive of Trump, just because I felt like she would care more about publicly her friendship with Taylor Swift.
Do you know what my conspiracy theory is? I think Taylor Swift supports Trump.
I think so too.
I think she's a Trump.
No, that's what I meant where I was like, I don't believe her necessarily.
My guess is because she was recently with Taylor Swift and they were talking about how they support Trump and she decided to go for it.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah. And she probably was like, I feel safe.
Yeah. I feel safe. Yeah. But
And Taylor Swift is like, I'm going to play nice and stuff like that because she's like, no, she fucking knows. She knows my dirty little secret.
Yeah. And I mean, what if Brittany Mahomes said like, oh, by the way, Taylor Swift supports Trump too? Like, what would Taylor Swift have done? But I think that would have been it for with Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Because that starts okay, are these two couples fighting?
I think there would have been like these guys are feuding now. Like, I really do think it would have turned into that.
I don't think Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes would ever start fighting with each other.
Yeah, but maybe it just would have been like the implied, but it's like they're fine.
I just feel like it sounds so insane, but if that had happened, I literally think the only friendly way out of that would have been if Travis Kelce, who last year they're like, is he going to retire? Would just retire.
Yeah, I think so too.
But because he's not going to another team, I don't know, a lot of drama. Anyway, that's my thought. I think Taylor Swift supports Donald Trump, and I think she was lying. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's it for the Public Pool podcast. We've been going for a while now. Please subscribe to this channel. We ask you every time. And a lot of you guys actually listened last time, so I appreciate that. Yeah, we will see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Kisses.
Stay dry. Feel free to pee in pools.